What's up? 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 Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy Podcast Wednesday. We are one day away from the last day of October. This was the longest month of the year this year. I must say, it was a long month. The days didn't drag like normal, but it just was a long month. It really did its thing this month. So um Friday we'll be saying hello to November. We still in Scorpio season, so celebrate y'all Scorpios. Do what y'all do for them, love on them, and give them the love and this attention that they need, that desired attention. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing with your people. We have a great show today, and I forgot to put the link on here in the comments. I literally forgot. I don't know how I forgot that, but if someone would be so kind to go to my page and get the link and drop it in the comments, that'd be great. That'd be real good. But we're gonna have a great show today. We're gonna talk about top tier, and I have a clip from a podcast that I love. It's really not a podcast, almost it's like a show. I think I don't know. I don't know. But they go on tour, so maybe they are a podcast that just tours. You know what I'm saying? So that goes out and do live shows. So, but it's called Tonight's Conversations, and I really, really love that podcast. So I'm gonna share a clip that I saw on there about being top tier as well. So we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about being top tier and where do you fall in line? Like where do you feel like you fit? And how do you feel like you fit there? And we're gonna we're gonna have some dialogue on that, of course. But being top tier is like it's a different thing when it comes to people's descriptions of it. So it's not just like, oh, you're the greatest. It means a whole lot more. It kind of gives a little bit more detail, and it kind of breaks down what a person sees, because it's a very profound word to use when you're describing someone. So we're going to talk about being top tier today in relationships and in dating and all of that. And because a lot of us think that we are of the highest quality, and top tier means of the highest quality. Now when the definition was put out there and the definition was created, it was not speaking of on people. It was I mean on just people, because it was speaking on people, because top tier was about work and where do you put your top people, and how do they fit in these certain spaces. That it mimics dating and relationships a little bit, because it does have you, especially if you're dating more than one person, it does have you trying to balance out and see, in your comparing who is doing what and how a person is with you. So it definitely matters. So we're gonna talk about that today. So let's jump to the quote real quick. This quote says, small, intentional, consistent efforts over time will profoundly transform the trajectory of your relationship. And it's very, very true. The more you learn your person, the more you want to please them in the ways that they want to be pleased. You're consistent with them. Everything that you're doing is just out of love more than out of trying to get something. So it matters. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to choose someone, it should definitely be someone who is intentional with you, who is consistent with you, who over time will profoundly transform who they are to make sure that y'all are better together. And that's just dead serious. That's just real. Anybody got any comments about the quote? Drop them in the comments. But yeah, it definitely has you thinking, like I see. I want to. If a person is doing all they can for you, and they doing a lot, you know what I'm saying? They showing you regularly who they are, right? And then you're being bare minimum. Why would that be happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you not be giving your person the same things that you're there that you're receiving? Because over time, those things can change the dynamic of your relationship, good or bad. So if you're not that consistent person, if you're not that intentional person, then your relationship can start to falter. It can start to be questionable. A person may start, like, because you gotta, like, how you got a person is how you gotta stay when you with them. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? You still gotta be that consistent person. You gotta be that person that you were showing them in the dating stages, in the leading up to the marriage stages, and all of that stuff. You got to give those people that. You cannot just be half-ass and stuff. Like, well, baby, I got you now. No, that's not right. It's not even cool. You got to do better. Even if whatever you have to do to keep y'all shit fresh, going, popping, do it. Don't change because you got a person. That when you get them, that's when you can lose them. And it's easier to lose people too than how you get them. Like, you have to, you probably ain't put in as much work anyway to get them. But once you lose a person, now you got to put in more work to get them back. So those are things you want to think about when you sitting up here playing these games, thinking that a person gonna just still be right there after all the BS. You know what I'm saying? So continue to be consistent, intentional, and your efforts over time will profoundly transform the trajectory of your relationship. You like, okay, let me give y'all some examples of this, because this is just from just talking to people and just even having conversation with other life coaches, right? So listen, one situation was like, this dude was like, she just don't give good head. Like, bleep 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 for the people who may not want to hear that. But she don't give good fellatio. And I really would like for it to get better. And like, I've been trying to show her what I like. I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to do that. And it's just not getting better. Right. So, okay. I just wanted to see. Sorry about that, y'all. I just wanted to see if my Wi-Fi was on, because I didn't want the Wi-Fi on. But it's so he trying to teach her, he trying to show her, he trying to guide her into how he likes his fellatio. So she's not doing it right. But check this out though. Buddy never gives up. He's constantly like working in it. He's constantly trying to be supportive of it. He's like, this is my girl. I want her to do me right. You know what I'm saying? He interested in trying to get his wife to see what he likes, right? So with that being said, he was being patient. He was being patient. He was being kind. And he was talking to his life coach. He was talking to his life coach about the situation one day. And she asked, she was like, so how's it going? Has it started to get a little better? He said, it's been 6 months, right? And he said, and what I kept doing, he was like, yeah, it's better. This a dude. It's better, bro. It's better, bro. Like, it's happening. She good. Like, it's a whole different person when we're together now. And so the life coach was like, so were you patient like I instructed? Did you keep bringing it up, or how did you handle it? He said every time she would try, he said, because one thing about it, my girl was gonna try. She was always gonna try. He was like, every time she would try, I'm coaching her, I'm motivating her and encouraging her and saying, it's gonna get better, babe. It's gonna get better. We will get there, because I don't want you to, be I don't want us to be together and we can't please each other sexually, right? So they keep encouraging each other and motivating each other. And he was like, my patience made my old lady do better. He said she started looking at different porn scenes. You know, people don't do that, but you know, whatever. Doing different scenes, doing different things, trying to figure out what she could do to make it better over time. They talking more, they giggling more. Their relationship is growing and things, and he's being intentional with looking out for her and intentional with taking care of her, and she's being intentional in everything as well. So they had something that this little fiasco gave them the opportunity to bond. She couldn't give her man fellatio. She was just not good at it. Point blank period. What's up, Queen? She was just not good at it. And so he struggled with trying to teach her and everything, but whatever, it boiled down to her being better, much better, to the point where it's a pleasurable thing for her. And that's what you do in your relationships. These small, intentional, consistent efforts and things that you're doing, they are very profound in your relationships. And we have to really focus on that. We have to really understand that how we penetrate each other mentally and physically are one and the same, for one. But two, it makes your shit stronger. And the thing, and where you lack and where you thought you couldn't fix things, they start to fix themselves because you build it in other areas of the relationship. You make other areas strong. Okay. So now we're going to jump to the show. I'm ready to drop this video. I got a video to show y'all of this podcast called Tonight's Conversations. And they were talking about top tier. And as I said already, top tier is of the highest level of quality. And people use this word like everybody top tier, and they just not. You're not. Everybody don't bring top tier shit to the table. Everybody don't bring top tier shit to their own lives. So no, it's not. Everybody isn't top tier. Everybody doesn't have the highest form of quality. However, you can brand yourself and get yourself to that level. But I have a video of a man and a woman on the podcast, and they were talking about top tier. And so I'm gonna play the video and let y'all see that. What's up, E? My brother in podcast, y'all. He just retired. Okay. Congrats though, bro, because I know you got some other stuff going on up your sleeve, but you know. Congrats. Yes, Queen. Very patient with her. Very, very kind. That's about the story that I was telling before we jumped into the main part of the show. But very patient, Queen. He was diligent too in his patience. He knew that someday it would get better. So all right. We're gonna jump into the video. What he just said. I'm on this podcast beach. Okay. You this podcast beach. All right, let me go to this video because I want y'all to see this. Let's go to it.
Top tier men, and that is the truth.
You believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4". Only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
Okay, before we go, what's your math saying?
The conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. A top tier man, they lead with love, not with dictatorship, right? They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself. A top tier man supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman. A top tier man prioritizes a woman. A top tier man is in leadership and working as hard as he is to give the woman the life of her dream.
And with all that stuff that you just said, that was just womanese talk.
Womanese is also 6'4", black, attractive. I don't know too many women in my circle who desire a 6'4" man still wearing braids.
Okay. All right. There you go. So they spoke about top tier. Both of them gave their own definition of top tier. Now, what I found first and what I noticed first is that when the man spoke on what top tier was, she was quiet and she let him speak. And when the end of his definition of it, she didn't attack his definition or his representation of what he felt top tier was. But as soon as she finished talking, he was like, "That's womanese." Like it was immediately. I was like, "Dang, he don't like it that much." So yes, Queen, come on now. She said she did her thing. Okay, I think that the responses were good. I think that his response spoke for who he is, and I think her response spoke for who she is. Okay, so with that being said, with the status of what, because he said most modern women are only looking for 6'4", dark skin or male, black male, got some money and living comfortably. So that's what he says that most of the modern women are looking for. They don't want anything more. They just want the statuettes, money having. You may not even know if he's respectful or disrespectful or not. You don't know how a person is with their mom or with their family. You don't know, because only thing that he's telling you that he has to offer are those qualities. And then she broke down what she thought a top tier man was. Now, personally, men can only describe what men are. We can tell you what we see and what we deal with a man, but men are going to be who they want to be around who they are. And it can change. It can change around different people. So we're gonna dig into some top tier stuff, and we're gonna talk about a few characteristics of being top tier. So top tier is the highest level of quality. I mean, the highest level or quality. Characteristics of quality relationships include negotiating where resources are allocated in a fair way and regularly reassessing needs in a relationship. Unselfish love, authentic communication, trust, and recognition of triggers from the past are also successful components of successful relationships. Acknowledging behaviors that are already a part of one's relationship can help a couple embrace others that they want to attain. Now, these are things that people endure and do in their relationships to keep their relationship stable, to make sure that they can have top tier and quality stuff going on, and that they're giving their people the highest quality and the highest form of themselves to their people. So the question is, though, are you top tier? Are you top tier material? Are you? Because let me tell you something. People come to the table with absolutely no experience in being in a relationship, and then want to be treated like God's green earth, and then start to show effects of different situations in a relationship. And then you see that what what you're dealing with is not top tier shit. You see that. But a person, will make you feel as if that you're dealing with top tier shit just because they feel like they got it in them. You ain't displaying it. You have to put that on display. So if you want a woman, or if a woman want a man that has top tier capabilities, and they're giving it to them and they're showing them that, and they're constantly reassessing the situation so that they can see where they can go up with doing things, improve on things, or if they're okay where they are. An assessment has to be done in any situation, with your children, when you're raising them, with your job. So most certainly in your relationship, you have to reassess. You have to go back and make sure that everything is okay. You can go a whole 4 years and nothing needs to change. But as soon as that 5th year starts, things start ruffling. Because y'all not talking, y'all not reassessing, y'all just think that you are the same person you were 4 years ago. And I'm sorry, it's just not true. So thinking about the needs of your people, all that shit makes you a top tier person. And you have to be careful to sift and resift, as quality relationships are subject to different expectations, and relationships have different structures and qualities. So what you may deem as, this man is he got his shit together, he top tier, he all that, another person may deem think that he just a normal person, just doing normal stuff, because they don't see you get different versions of people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can't always see in first hindsight of meeting someone if they are top tier quality. But as you continue to get to know them, your verbiage of what top tier is will start to either display or be shunned. And in that moment, that's the time for you to back away from certain things. Stop thinking that you could just go in and fix it. And at this age, I always tell people, like, I don't know what type of red flag game you like playing, but if you see it, believe it. If you felt it, believe it. Why would you act as if or look the other direction? Why would you do that when a person is putting it on display for you? You know what I'm saying? That's insane. Do not ignore what you see. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's jump into it. Okay. The fair negotiation of resources. Every relationship has only so many resources at different times and in different situations. So whether time, money, love, availability, or mental and emotional resilience is there, those resources must be allocated with fairness, generosity, and understanding. Successful couples negotiated priorities together, deciding what each may need at one time or another. You talk about this stuff. Because you got to know that things change. And I said that people change, things change. In relationships, stuff changes. Somebody might get sick. You think they're going to need the same things they did when y'all first got together? No, it's going to be needed in a different capacity. It's going to be needed in a different capacity. So you got to focus. You have to make sure that how you move and how you it's about paying attention. A lot of y'all don't pay attention, man. A lot of y'all be looking over the smallest bull things and be thinking that a person just gonna keep on saying, "Oh, let me give him some more time. Let me give her some more time." No, pay attention the first time. If you care, you care. If you care enough, there are going to be times that you're going to see things that they don't even know you're seeing. Pay attention. It's really just that simple. So your negotiation of resources and talking about what you need or what you may not need is going to be an honest list, an honest conversation. Don't come in that conversation scared to say nothing. Don't come in that conversation trying to lower what's going on with you, trying to put the type of light on it that's going to be like, but we can get back to it next week. But it's your health that you're saying that you need to prioritize right now. And you saying we can talk about it another time. No. Prioritizing means talking about it when it's needed to be talked about. But you do have to, the other person in your relationship does have to be willing to accept that things are going to change. All right. So that's the fair negotiation of resources. You must have those. You need to be able to think. You need to be able to see and believe that there's an even swap, no swindle, when it comes to what's resourceful in your relationship at the time. Okay. So again, time, money, love, and availability, or mental and emotional resilience, is very important to some people. And then on the other hand, you got those resources that need that boost. All those resources you just stated, they need that boost with fairness, generosity, and understanding. It has to be an equal sentiment there. All right. Staying current. Life demands change. Resources wax and wane. Different life stages require adaptations and adjustments. Losses are inevitable. Early dreams may fall by the wayside and new ones emerge. In so many ways, quality relationships are like businesses. And we say this all the time. You are running a business when you are in a deep embedded relationship. You are. It's a lot of things you have to take into consideration. And if your people are entrepreneurs and they're business owners, you definitely running a business. Relationships are no different. What responses, offerings, and valuable contributions that may have been more than enough at one time must be able to continually transform as new requirements demand different reactions, resources, and priorities. And I just stated that if a person gets sick, if something happens, or a promotion happens that makes their time having to go over here a little bit more dedicated to other things, we got to sit and have a conversation. We got to sit and let each other know, because top tier relationships, top tier people in relationships. That's why you know a lot of people ain't in no top tier relationships. This is why you know that, because they don't even know how to sit and have a conversation about what needs to be important right now, what needs to be this right now. That's staying current, having current conversations. Yes, queen, business, having current conversations, dealing with current situations are not always the same as 4 or 5 years ago. So in order for you to be talking about you in a top tier relationship, how you around here bragging about somebody who left you sitting at the hospital for 3 hours and didn't even come in there with you? And you just sitting, and all you doing is just lying. Keep the lies to yourself, and make sure y'all fix it. But it's not worth bragging and saying you in a top tier relationship when you get your ass beat. It's not bragging and worth diving into and saying that I'm in a top tier relationship when you can't even get this person to help you with the children. You're not. So these things may seem like sketchy to you because it's not happening. It may be one of those things like, dang, that's supposed to be going on. Yes, it's supposed to be going on. You should be feeling love and affection way more than you're feeling loneliness when you're in a long-term relationship or marriage. All right. So staying current. People in quality relationships regularly reassess how they need to alter who they are and what they can give or need, and how the relationship is doing in general. So I said earlier, I was having a conversation on here earlier stating that a man's wife could not give him fellatio. She had no knowledge. She was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. She using teeth. She using too much of this, too less of that. She's just not doing it. And Buddy never gave up. Buddy was patient. Buddy was kind. Buddy was real with his woman. Buddy really showed her that, okay, his patience and his resilience toward trying to make sure that I'm good at what I'm doing is attractive. So let me go step up my game a little bit more and start watching certain things that I didn't even want to watch, just so I can get down and dirty with my man. And she did. And she went and made those changes. And within a 4 to 6 month time frame, Buddy telling his life coach, bro, it happened. It's good. Everything, and the process of what he did to get there and all of that. So there was a lot going on in that relationship that could have just made them push away from each other. He could have never addressed it and never told his wife what it is that was making him uneasy in the bedroom. Because that's what he said. He said, she cannot do it at all. She's terrible. And she knew it. And she worked on it. So that's what I mean about reassessing your relationship. he went from being okay because he probably was single, you know, they weren't fully all committed and all that, and probably was getting head on the side somewhere, or just wasn't getting it at all. Or, well, that's my oars over here. But the point is that they stuck it out and held on to each other enough to make sure that this situation wasn't something that was going to be what could end them. Dedication, okay? Unselfish love is what they gave each other. Love is comprised of the honest desire to seek the gratification of personal needs, intersped by making certain that your partner must thrive as well. Every intimate partner struggles between the need for safety and security, and the desire for the freedom to grow. Oh, that's so big in relationships nowadays. It's almost like somebody, they be feeling like they're in competition with each other a little bit. That's crazy, but it's true. The former maintains the comfort of predictability, and the latter gives. And the latter gives the relationship challenge and excitement. Those of you who have supported your partner at your own expense know how scary it is to risk your own security to give your partner the opportunity. That's a big one. To follow what he or she sees as offering more possibilities and altered dreams. Despite your insecurity, you know what it is, that it is the right thing to do no matter what the cost. So being supportive of your partner, even though you don't see the outcome as being a great outcome, because it has nothing to do with your dreams, it just has something to do with your support. But as we spoke in the last show, couples have goals together, but couples also have separate goals. So this is the time that you have to have unselfish love and put yourself to the side while they focusing on their goals as well. That makes you fucking top tier. And I'm not creating us these constant, I'm not just creating these triggers of what they feel like top tier is. These are things, like I said, top tier was first produced as a business source to let you know that this is where we should be, this is where we should be standing, this is how we should happen. All those different volumes and tiers. Up here's the top one. And it's not the president or the CEO, because they don't know the job all too well. Like they don't know all the ins and outs and functions of the job. The top tier person is the person who handling stuff, and they running the whole show as far as knowledge. And in business, they had the tiers that developed this. You got a human resource officer because they're knowledgeable in this. You got your inspector general. You got your general counsel. All these different areas are creating tiers in a business. Now, there are certain things you have to climb to get to the top, and that's how the model of top tier came out in that form. But people started utilizing those models to describe people in relationships or people in general. So now you have people saying, if you don't have unselfish love, if you don't have the ability to stay current, if you don't know how to negotiate resources and have conversations with your partner about what resources are more important, then you are not top tier. That's what this is telling you. If all you do is sit up and complain about what you want, but you're going to get it not top tier. If all you do is say that people holding you back, not top tier. Top tier people don't make excuses. They get her done. You cannot be sitting around here pretending to be something you're not. And at this day and age, they calling your ass out now. If you around here pretending that you handling this and doing that and doing this and doing that, and you really not, they calling you out. Just do it. It's easier to just do it, or you just like lying and talking. You cannot be top tier and of the higher quality if you're not producing quality shit. All right? Congruent, authentic, and open communication. Every bid for connection has both an altruistic and self-serving motive. Both are profoundly human responses and should be shared without shame. Though some strategy and diplomacy are a part of every successful relationship, quality communication gives both partners a heads up to see what is wanted and what the consequences might be if those are not granted. Let's be real. Let's be real. If a person ain't get what they want in relationships nowadays, they're not staying in these relationships. Let's be real. Why am I going to sit here and waste my time and I'm being top tier and you right here being locomotive, slow? Why would I do that? I can't overgive and expect that you're going to change and grow. I can't keep doing that. That's changing the authenticity of your relationship. That's bringing it down. That's making one person feel more responsible for things that are happening in your relationship. That's not cool. They're going to dip. They're going to dip. And it may take them a while to see it, but they're going to dip. For real, D, a locomotive. They probably ain't, people don't know what that is, huh? Trains, baby, trains. But they will dip. Congruent communication occurs when a person's body language, when you can see their body language, bro. This is big. You can see their body language. When a person's body language, facial expressions, voice intonations, rhythm, and touch present the same picture. That's when you have a good level of communication because their body language is clinging to you. Their actions are clinging to you. But when people are comfortable with their good qualities, working on their limitations, and honest about their process, they are authentic and upfront, giving the other partner a full understanding of what to expect. Come into your be 100% you when you stepping into these new relationships. Be 100% you. Holding it back ain't doing nothing but wasting time. It's not good for you. Holding back is not good. So be 100% authentic when you're walking into new relationships, because what'll happen is a person will say, you didn't say that before, you ain't speak that up before, you ain't do this before, and all this right here like you just trying to throw some new stuff at them, even though that's who you are and who you've always been. You just was trying to hold back some of that because you don't want to give a person too much. It's no, we're not in the season of not giving too much. We're not doing that no more. Not giving too much had you in a relationship with 3 kids that you ain't even want, not married or married, and you stuck. You got to think about these things. Speak up. If you desire this, tell a bitch that. If you want this, tell a bitch that. If you got this, tell a bitch that. If you're not willing to share certain things, tell a bitch that. Be 100%. That authenticity is what is going to keep your relationship whole and great from jump. All that holding back is going to be what ends and brings you to a demise. Okay? So, congruent, authentic, and open communication. We talking these days. We speaking up. We got action behind it. We dead serious about everything. That's what it is now. Too old to be wasting time. And for the young people, you too young to be wasting time. Because it's a lot. That time going to blow by so fast, you're going to need it. And you're going to miss it. And you're going to wish you ain't never sat back and just chilled too long. And let a whole year go by and you ain't did nothing. All right. Triggers from past relationships. This is our number 6. No one comes into a relationship without emotional baggage. Past losses, traumas, broken dreams, or disappointments from childhood until the current relationship are bound to rear their influence on a current relationship. Okay? The way people resolve those past issues is a critical harbinger of how they can be triggered in their present relationships. The more both partners know about past the more both partners know about past entanglements and their consequences, the better they are prepared to differentiate between what is happening just between them and what may be surfacing as an old unresolved situation from the past. So if there are certain things that you need to talk about in these new relationships that are, and that person may trigger you into saying something or doing something based on what's up, based on what it is that you are telling them, you don't want to not let them know that there are things from this that can trigger you. If y'all out on a bridge and you nervous and everything's starting to get shaky inside your mind, and you haven't spoken up about it, you probably should have said something before y'all start trying to walk over that bridge. I told you we speaking up now. We not sitting back holding things back, because what's top tier? What's top tier about falling off the bridge? What's top tier about not communicating? If we're saying that you have to have open dialogue, you have to have a negotiation of resources, because something's, again, negotiation of resources mean that in your relationship, what that person needed 5 years ago may not be what that person need now. So y'all need to sit and constantly have communication on what is changing within you and what is changing within them. Staying current, always having current conversations, not holding those things back. That's your partner. Why are you willing to not speak to your partner about what it is that makes you have these situations or these things that are going on? Unselfish love. We talked about how if a person starts to go through different things, they want to start new jobs, they want to start do different things that they want to encompass into y'all's lives. Y'all got to be able to back up and be like, okay, this isn't about me, but I need to be supportive. Because everything won't be about you. You'll have couple goals and you'll have separate goals, but those shouldn't be too different from each other, especially if your couple goals are to grow. Why would your separate goals be to fail? Okay. Authentic communication. And nothing like being able to talk to your people and being able to be expressatory towards your people, and them being understanding and taking into consideration everything that you're saying. That's real top tier shit. All that other stuff about just looks and what a person's spending on you and how they run around doing this, because guess what? You still could be treated like shit at home, but made to look like the whole outside of that house is clean and shiny and bright. But you going through hell in there. Because all you got to show for it is the fact that they might be spending a little money and buying some things for you, but they're not giving you top tier treatment, top tier love, top tier respect. That's what makes you top tier. All right, back into it. And those triggers from those past relationships, speak up about it, because don't drag nobody else down in y'all relationship when you're the one that has went through these things, and you need to let them know, especially when it starts getting real. Because if they do something that triggers a movement, an action, a response, anything negative from you, they need to know. All right. Consistent expressions of what is working. Too often, many committed couples take for granted that the other knows he or she is loved. Most of their conversations tend to be about logistics, keeping each other informed about life events, sharing responses to what affects them, talking about future plans, or sharing what they are unhappy about. If the couple is still together and is prospering, it is evident that something lies underneath their more superficial interactions, but the other might not know or share those positive things. So if a person is making you feel good in your relationship, tell them, be honest, be positive. That's the kind of stuff that keep your relationship hot and spicy and growing. Because y'all talking about what it is that is working. You're actually living in what's working for you, and y'all talking about it. You putting it out there to each other. But I appreciate when you had told me the other day that it don't matter if you ain't feeling all the way up to it today. That doesn't change that that doesn't have to be done, but you still going to it with your whole heart and your whole head, because that somebody is dependent on you. So thank you for motivating me. Those things is what helps us in this relationship. Your motivation keeps me strong. That's one thing. Then he turned around and she turned around and tell him, I appreciate you showing up. When I was getting my award, I didn't even think you were gonna be there. You were there. That made my spirits higher. Tell these people things that are working in y'all relationship. If that, because how is and you couldn't tell me that. That's not top tier shit. You couldn't tell me that. You only, what I can say about that is that we're showing up to support. We're doing that. And if that's something that y'all always doing for each other, that's what's making y'all relationship stand strong. That's what's making y'all relationship stay current. Those things that y'all have embedded into each other and that y'all are constantly doing and y'all don't even know y'all doing it. When y'all sitting having them conversations about the resources that are changing and now you might have gestational diabetes and he may have lockjaw, some shit, that anything. And now y'all got different needs, different things going on, whatever it is. When you having those communicative conversations about what it is that's changing, make sure you're implementing what it is that makes it work. Make sure you're always keeping each other abreast to what's happening and what you need and what you want and how you desire it. Talk about it. Okay. Egoless leadership. Role definitions and their executions are not fixed in quality relationships. There are no egos. The partners are not defined by rigidly expected behaviors and effortlessly give leadership to the person who can do it best at the time. Because we all know. Dennis, you act like you late for work. Thank you for jumping on, OD. That man is crazy, I swear. But they are a team first, so it's no competition. You know what I'm saying? It's no, oh, I expect this. Because today you may not be the leader. Today he may not be the leader. Somebody else got to lead that day. That might not be the role that she does, or it might not be the role that he does. You just got to make sure that each one of y'all are available to lead. Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry, I lost my space. Lost my spot. They are also non-competitive and respectful when one partner can shoulder a challenge better than the other because the other compensates where he or she can. They can feel in for each other when needed and have no ego around who may be better in any other area. Both are secure in being respected for who they are and what they bring to the table, and they know they are better off together than they could be alone. That's some real shit, y'all. Like, that's just real. That's real right there, because he said sometimes and on certain days you may be the person who has to lead because you can handle that today and they may not be able to. I love my new job. They fire people for talking while driving or I'm glad you love it, Dennis. I'm so happy you're enjoying the job. That's dope. That's beautiful. But egoless leadership, being able to step to the side when you know you ain't got it. You know how many of us cannot do that in relationships? You know how many people are being manipulated into believing that they're not strong enough to handle certain things because they don't do it regularly? Do you have any understanding for that? Because I'm being this is real. There are many things that women can do better than men on certain days, and men can do better than women on certain days. But out of respect and love for each other in a partnership, who needs to talk about that? All I need to get up and say that day is, I can't. Today is gonna be a day that I might need you a little bit more. I don't know if I can work a whole day. If I can, I'm going to. I'm not feeling well. However, I know we got stuff to do with the kids. I know this, and I know that I'm the person that normally does those things, but I'm going to need you today. I got to step aside and allow us to handle this versus just me. Egoless leadership. And I'm not going to even harp on that one too long because y'all know what that means. Take yourself out of the situation and focus on the us instead of the self. All right. That's just what it is. Injury before judgment. It's my last one, y'all. Successful partners do not assume, guess, or come to the conclusions about the other's thoughts and behaviors without checking with each other as to the accuracy of their assumptions. Talk. You got to talk. That's what the communication is for. They have learned that rapid reaction said in defense will not result in a meaningful resolution, so they commit to asking for more clarity before they respond. Many relationships break up because incorrect assumptions of another's more clarity before they respond. Incorrect responses, assumptions of another's motives trigger mistrust, even when it's not warranted. Even people who have been together for many years mistake the other's reasons or buildups and react as to if they know enough to respond accurately. So, basically, when either partner cannot take the time to make room for the entirety of what they need to hear before they start reacting, you don't have top tier relationship shit going on. You don't. I'm sorry. You trying to cut somebody off the talk, you trying to speak your piece before they even done. You already got a whole rock solid answer to what they're trying to say before they even finish saying it. Injury before judgment. There's nothing about that is going to sit well with anyone. You're not going to be able to. They're going to hold back things that they want to say. They're going to start having little issues towards you that when you come around, it's going to trigger things in them because you're not being top tier people. You being mediocre. You're being and it's probably fine to be mediocre. But when you're in a relationship, why are you not giving it your best? Why are you not making yourself shine? Why are you not allowing your partner to shine? When you're in a relationship, what are we being dull people for? And we're supposed to be up here. We're supposed to be, our shit's supposed to be so unstagnated and so guided by what we got going on in such a positive manner that nothing is supposed to change the trajectory of our stuff. Because we're communicating, we're listening, we're talking, we're having real dialogue about what is needed in this relationship and what's going to make us grow, what's going to continue to have us on top of the world, what's going to continue to have us as a top tier couple. And being top tier is an internal thing. This ain't got nothing to do with the outside world. This is an internal thing, because what I feel in my relationships when I'm in a relationship is that my shit is the greatest because I know what I'm putting in. But I always did forget to make sure that I'm making sure that a person putting in just as much as me. I can't be top tier alone. Not in no relationship. And the video that I played earlier, which I'm about to replay again, the video I played earlier lets you see that a person was talking about what they felt like they were as top tier, not what they are in a relationship for top tier. Let's roll the footage. Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Top tier men, and that is the truth.
Do you believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about what? 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year. And I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, no, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
Okay, before we go, what's your math saying?
The conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. A top tier man, they lead with love, not with dictatorship, right? They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself. A top tier man supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman. A top tier man prioritizes a woman. A top tier man is in leadership and working as hard as he is to give the woman the life of her dream.
And with all that stuff that you just said, that was just womanese talk.
Womanese is also 6'4", black, attractive. I don't know too many women in my circle who desire a 6'4" man still wearing braids.
And at the end, she said she don't have too many friends in her circle that desire a 6'4" man still wearing braids. So they both gave their definitions of what they felt like top tier was. And she said a lot of the things that he spoke on the physical attributes. He's coming from He's coming from a place where he thinks this is what women see as high value, but womanese. I said the same thing about the womanese statement. Like legalese, you know, they saying that's only stuff that women understand. I don't believe that. I think with him saying womanese, he's taken away from the fact that men have some of the same understandings and qualities of what that is to bring to a relationship as top tier. Because the article that I was reading from today was written by a black man that actually stands on the fence of saying that this is what I believe top tier has been after studies and research. He's a therapist. After studies and research of dealing with people and seeing what it is, that right there states right in the aspect of what he feels is a top tier relationship. I don't have the separation of what I feel a top tier man is and a top tier woman is. I feel like it's supposed to be a top tier relationship. So that would mean that as separate people, you're supposed to be bringing things to the relationship that fall in the bounds of the conversations that we were having today. It would need to be that type of way. And you have to be already displaying a lot of these qualities before you get in these relationships. Every relationship, you cannot walk in still needing to learn what it is to be fair, still needing to learn what it is to be current, still needing to learn how to love unselfishly, still needing to learn how to communicate, learning what the true meaning of trust is. They're on YouTube. You'll have to go on YouTube and look for those. But consistent expressions of what is working. Those are not things that you need to always come into the relationship needing to be taught. You should already have some understanding of what you need to be in a top tier relationship. You should already have some understanding of that. And if you know you bring that and you're dealing with that, and then you come into a situation where you don't have any of that going on with that other person, why waste time? Why waste any time thinking that you can build a person up? We're not in build up stages no more. I told you, you come in with a lot of parts already there now. And if you got to keep on going to the pick and pull to grab parts to keep building people up, you wasting a lot of your time. And a lot of us don't have a whole lot of time. That's just real. So make sure if you're starting new relationships, you're being all of those things that I said, because it is really a reflection of you. Make sure you're doing that. Be a full reflection of yourself when you meeting people up front now. You have no time to be sitting up there trying to hide who you are, hoping that if you expose too much or too less, they're going to know too much or know too less. All of that is what's going to keep people around that shouldn't be around that long. You can't build top tier shit with a low tier person. You just can't. Stop trying to. You ain't 21 no more. And for the ones that are 21, don't even get into it. Don't even start with these Lego pieces and think that you're finna start building up people with Legos, because that's not going to work. You're growing and learning just like they're growing and learning, right? as young people, this is what's happening because we've all been young. You're growing and you're learning and you're seeing things, but you're ignoring certain things because you think that they have time to change. But are they exhibiting any signs of wanting to change? If that's not being exhibited, you already know from jump you wasting time. When y'all having those conversations about what they got in gold minded and how and what they're doing, and if it's not adding up and show, if action isn't showing up to what they're saying, don't start wasting time at a young age, because you're gonna find yourself wasting time a lot of years. All right. So that's what top tier is. And I said from jump, top tier is of the highest level of quality. And if you're around here bullskitting, acting like you top tier, but you can't bring nothing top tier to the situation, go on and stop wasting people's time. Move around. Because one thing about me, if mine come to me, if my children come to me and say that they're dealing with a certain situation, I'm going to let them know. I'm not beating around the bush, because I can already see where things can be going. We're going to talk about it. So if you sit around here meeting people that don't give you nothing but low tier vibes, you need to go on scat. All right? So remember, if you are planning to bring anything to the table, bring the real you, so people can see exactly what they need to have in store to have you. It's too many high quality men and too many top level men around here to be dealing with all these low budget ass women. And they just but a lot of the stuff that men do, they be top tier and top quality, but they just be wanting quick fucks. So now they want to just mess with a low quality woman. Now you got this low quality woman chasing you down, and she and come popping up doing crazy shit. And now you sit around here looking crazy because you done gave this person top tier service in a low tier situation. Add some value to yourself. That's the show for today, though. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you need to go back and watch a recap of it, there's a video on here from this podcast called Tonight's Conversations that I'll be watching. And that's what I found that video just in the nick of time of the show. I actually was like, this will be perfect. And it came up and it worked real good. All right. But y'all check it out. Check out the recap. Share it. Let everybody know that we talked about real top tier shit on here. Not just, because you got a Lexus and you live in a big house, and because your attitude can be nasty, ugly, and you probably don't even know how to be in a relationship, and you in one, and you treat a person like shit because you got all this lavish stuff, but you don't have none of that good internal shit. Y'all keep messing with them low tier people, your soul's gonna stay dirty. Y'all have a good day. Good evening. I'm gonna see y'all. Oh, I won't see y'all next Wednesday though. We'll be back the second week of July. The second week of November. I'll catch y'all back then. All right. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.